Good morning from the ridge.
Good morning.
Long time no see on this format, huh, guys?
What are we doing?
I don't know. We are probably the most unpredictable couple on YouTube you can imagine.
It's called real life.
Yeah, but we are pretty impulsive people. But
Right.
yeah.
That's how we keep it interesting.
Yeah. But we just felt so in a place where we just didn't know which direction to go, I think.
Well, yeah, because there was so many options, right? You're standing
And we
at
felt
it.
so restricted from the algorithm on the other channel
Yeah.
that we just kind of got, what do you call it, analysis paralysis?
Right. Well, and when the intersection you're at to make a decision is like a bowl of spaghetti, it goes everywhere. Yeah, and just the chaos of the life for the year. I mean, I know it's only November, which is crazy to think about that it's already November.
Yeah.
But we're already reflecting back because we do have this time that we're home for a little while now. No plans on really going anywhere
And it's
significant
the
till
first,
the end of January.
time. Like our whole year, we were like, we just got to get past November 8th. We just got to get past November 8th.
Well, but even up until then, because honestly, it wasn't until kind of mid-year that we knew about the wedding.
Right.
With
but
the
it feels
planning,
like
but
from last year, I think from the North Carolina trip on, that's when things just got
oh yeah, it's just been chaos.
stupid. Yeah.
And it's what can we get done that can sit for a while because we know we have something else coming up to
Yeah.
go.
Or
So it's
we're home for 2 weeks. What can we get done in 2
Yeah.
weeks? And I know I've really felt the stress of it majorly, really, really bad. This year was unlike any other emotionally for me, I think.
yeah, it was definitely long, but still got a lot of things done. I mean, not major projects and not what we had planned at the beginning of the year, but still another year that we get to tick off the calendar under our belts.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing looking
That's what
back,
we're calling it.
well, it was definitely a year of lessons, right? An educating year. So, yeah, just we spent all day yesterday, guys. That's why kind of even our brains this morning are going a little wonky jonky. Is we spent the whole day yesterday doing nothing.
Nothing.
Which was awesome. I mean, it was a beautiful day, which was kind of sad because it was so nice outside. We're like, hey, but we just looked at each other, sat on the lazy boys, and went, yeah, Netflix engaged.
Yeah, and I think it's because, and we sat out here yesterday just kind of ruminating about, the year, and it's like, it's the first time this year where we can actually just exhale.
Yeah.
We have no looming dates, short of January, but I'm looking forward to January because I'm looking forward to that vacation.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, it's, one, it's a cruise, which we've found that, yeah, for sure we love way more than we probably should. And
Yeah.
then we question, why didn't we do these a lot sooner in our life? But the other part is we get to go with some of our amazing friends and spend that time with them. So that's going to be awesome. But yeah, and it's been
You or me.
been invigorating.
It has. And, before you guys bash us about the cruises, like, y'all do know you can make monthly payments on a cruise, right? To where, like, $100 a month will take you on a phenomenal vacation for,
Yeah.
And if that means we eat out one time less, which we already don't eat out, or whatever, it's not that we're rich. We're just planning ahead. Like, fortunately, the one in January is already paid for, but, like, the one that we have scheduled for next November is a little over a year from now. And it gives us something to look forward to, but rewards us for, the hard work of saving that. And it's not, every one of us can squeeze $100 a month out of a budget anywhere. The majority of us can. So
Yeah.
it's not that
And a lot of it is just, cutting out that unnecessaries, right? And when you look at your typical American family, how much of their budget every month goes to eating out. And it's crazy when you put pen to paper and actually write some of that out and realize, oh my gosh, yeah, like you can save so much. So
I call it the nickel and diming effect.
yeah.
If you're stopping and grabbing coffee every day, add that up over a year and see if then you think it's worth it. If you're running through McDonald's for a Happy Meal, oh, those roosters.
Yeah. I even fed them before, which, I mean, we had to do chores this morning, but I even fed them in the hopes that they would not be so loud and obnoxious. But yeah, they're going to find the knife soon.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We can't help nature. But yeah, if you nickel and dime yourself and you write that down over the course of a year, and we're not big on eating out, but just for instance, you know, we dedicated ourselves and committed ourselves when we went up north that we were not purchasing things at gas stations and we weren't going out to eat. So even the hotel we chose based on the fact that they have a great breakfast in the morning, buffet style. So, and it's included in your room. And so we were able to snag a few extra things to take up to the room for snacks later. We planned and prepped ahead. We took lunch meats. I made sandwiches. I made you a big half-gallon of iced coffee.
Right.
Because those monsters add up, y'all. I think I bought one coffee on the road. And then in between the wedding and reception, you hadn't eaten. I ate some snacks out of our stash. But you did get 2 double cheeseburgers.
I did. I went to the old Rock Gut place, and I regretted it later. It was not a good life decision in the moment. But
I can't imagine. I bet we saved $200 in that trip up north between not nickel and diming ourselves at the grocery store or at the gas stations and not eating out while we were there.
Well, and that falls back to a lot of you that have been around from the beginning. Is what even got us into buying our first travel trailer. Was we knew we liked to travel, and at the time that we had bought that one, we were snowbirding to find our forever home, not in Michigan. So it was a lot of travel time, and it, you know, being the hotel costs. Like we did that first trip that we came down. I don't even think we came in Arkansas that year, but we did Tennessee, we did Alabama, we did Georgia.
We couch surfed.
There was a couple places we were able to stay at spare rooms, but you know, when we started wandering over into some of the other states, it was hotels. And when we got home and we looked back at our budget, thinking, okay, what would be your bulk of a budget when you're traveling, right? And the initial is fuel. But that's inevitable. Almost to me, like you should budget in fuel, but you've got to have gas, right? So you've got to pay for that in one way, shape, or form. That's a mandatory deal. So how can you cut down on other things? And you know, the thing about it was we had hotel costs, and we shopped around to get the cheapest hotel that wasn't full of roaches and nastiness.
There were some sketch ones, let me tell you what.
That we could stay in. And, you know, but then the other part of it was when you're in those hotels, now, you could pay a little more and get a suite that has like maybe a little kitchenette or something. But that only works if you're staying in one spot for an extended period of time. And we weren't. We were literally maybe 2 nights max.
Hauling in the luggage, hauling out the luggage.
And so now you're eating 3 times a day. Or even twice a day, because, you know, we do typically eat a little less when we're on the road. So that was the big expense. And that's what, hey, let's get a travel trailer. That means we have to take the truck, so we don't get as good a fuel economy. And the price of diesel is more expensive than gasoline. But the money we saved on not paying for a hotel room and not having to buy food all the time. Because we could just load the camper up.
And then we pull off at rest stops and go back to the camper and, you know, sit at our table and have a meal. We weren't having to pack and unpack out of a suitcase.
Yeah.
I think we're going to kill those roosters today. There's like 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. And especially because somebody on the other ridge over there has a rooster.
It's colder than I thought.
And, well, yeah, that's why I knew sitting here. If I was working, the hoodie is just fine today. But knew just sitting here that a heavier coat was going to be much needed. But yeah, somebody on the other end has roosters, and ours keep going back and forth with them. So we've gotten rid of the goats to kind of quiet things down, and we were just feeding them for no purpose. So they were time to go to freezer camp, and now it's going to be chicken day. We're going to have to do something with them because
they're
yeah.
just...
And even when we're not filming, I mean, it makes it hard to film. To edit that out a lot of times, which you really can't.
No.
But our brain, right? We want a nice, quiet, serene, and yes, it comes with the territory. And normally, if you have one rooster, they're normally not going to be that bad.
No.
But it's when you get multiples, now they're going to compete with one another on who can call the loudest. I don't know. Like, I need a chicken translator to see, like, are they just... It reminds me of that meme, right? It was like, hey, what is your name? And the dude's like across hotels or, I don't know, I guess you had to be there.
I guess you had to be. But yeah, so anyway, circling back to our crazy lives, we were sitting there last night and I'm like, we've recorded like the video we put out this morning, on making the ketchup. And like we just want to put stuff out that we're doing every day. And not be like tagged into a genre, right? And it was Jason that came up with, well, what about White Rock Unhinged? And I'm like, okay, because anything goes.
Yeah, we had talked about renaming the channel, and a lot of you gave a lot of great suggestions. And the comments I've even seen this morning are loving the new name. And
we're so sorry we are switching things up. It's been, we still are gonna do the loop, guys, but we have a lot of time until that happens, and we didn't want this channel to just sit and do nothing, right? Because as I talked about on our live, we do need to be generating income. So what better way to do that than put whatever we want on this channel? If I'm going to cook something, I'm going to cook it anyway. Why not film it and put it out? And these aren't things that y'all have heard us talk about before. So
and it's also on this channel, and with the way that we're using it, it's gonna put the ketchup recipes. It's gonna put other.
You call that a recipe? I'm not even sure I call it a recipe.
Well, there were ingredients and mixing and different things.
I had a base recipe I went off of,
but it's a lot of the stuff that they've been asking for, and we just couldn't figure out. I mean, for a while, we actually were looking at starting a third one. Just because we're like, hey, and...
I'm like, there's no way I can keep up with that.
Yeah, we've got to be logical with our own time and what makes sense and works for us.
And Unhinged is not going to be blockbusters, y'all. I'll do my basic editing, and, I think I threw that ketchup video together in, an hour and a half, maybe? Yesterday.
Well, but the thing about it is, I think the more edited, the more crazy blockbuster type, that's not relatable. And I think that, us going back, and then that's kind of part of it. We've talked about that before, right? Going back to our roots of why we started the channel, or even both channels, right? Why we started YouTube, why we wanted to record it. And then looking at the comments. Go back and look at the comments and go, okay, this is why people are coming to watch what we're putting out. Because it still blows our mind every single day that, anybody wants to watch this stuff. But because to us, it's like, hey, we are everyday people, and we're just throwing some stuff out there. And
there's probably going to be a lot of crossover stuff too. We don't know. We don't have a template for Unhinged. We don't have
that's why it's Unhinged.
A game plan for Unhinged. It's just going to be whatever we're shooting.
The randomness, and still wanting to sit down and we're not saying it's going to be an everyday thing. Some days we'll sit here and we'll do our chat with you. I
might do a live in the morning having coffee with y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you
It's
keep telling them
unhinged.
that, but they're still waiting. They're still going.
It's because in the mornings, I literally am awful in the mornings, and I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
I got to be awake for.
I mean,
couple
I'm pretty
hours.
interested because you keep bringing it up, which I laugh at because I'm like, no, nobody needs. I don't even want to do that. I purposely lay in bed for an extra hour or two in the mornings because I'm like, nope, I'm waiting till I hear that coffee pot hit the stand twice. All right, now I know she's on cup 2. We'll be all right. It's safe
I was
to
watching
approach.
a TikTok about a guy that he's a behavioralist and a psychologist, and a lot of the things he talks about in his videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. Oh my gosh, that's me. Oh wow, that sounds like me. And there's a lot of it is some trauma response, but also like, are you a personable person, but not for like 2 hours in the morning? Like you're so angry in the morning and you want to just, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like what? And it's because our brains didn't really rest during sleep, for one, because we're so hyper vigilant. And so when you wake up, you're almost in that hyper vigilant state still. And you're trying to process all that. And so it takes you a hot minute.
And I
Because
wonder
when
if
you
there's
sleep,
some.
you're vulnerable.
Yeah, and I wonder if there is something to that as you talk about it, like in like the difference. Like we are two different people when we wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Like we're definitely opposite ends of the spectrum of, I'll wake up, typically be a morning person. Like, hey, let's ready, get the day going, as to where it takes her a while. But when you say that, hey, that means not a restful sleep. And I think the other difference is you have dreams that are sometimes very vivid, that you remember, maybe not every night, but way, most nights, as to where I couldn't tell you the last time that I remember a dream. And that might be, I think psychologically, humans as a whole species, though, we're creatures of habit. So once you've been doing something, like you've talked about, you spent all those years being a nurse, having to get up early. And, and I try to think about the same thing because I do remember, I've been an early riser my whole life. Until I had kids. No, hear me out. So I remember the stories that they had bought me an alarm clock when I was getting ready to start school, right? And it got to the point where that alarm clock wasn't even needed after a little while, and I was just up. And then I remember I was always up early, always. Like if not the second person up in the house at any given time. Like always an early riser. Get going, and I never needed an alarm. Like my body just said, hey, you slept long enough, get up, get going. And I used to be a really, really light sleeper. And then the kids were born. And all of that, for whatever reason, had flipped. I don't know if, but it was one of those that I wouldn't hear the kids crying in the middle of the night. Like once, prior to Kirsten being born, our first, a mouse could have farted and I was waking up. Like I was that light of a sleeper. And then for whatever reason, when she was born, but then I carried on, right? 17 years in the Marine Corps of having to be up early, be at the barracks by 5:30 or doing PT at 5:30. Like, and so it makes me curious about myself as to that whole creature of habit. Like you say, you're waking up because you did it all those years for nursing.
Well, I don't know if
But
that's
then,
the
like,
truth or
yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that's the curiosity of the human psyche and the brain is, if that is the case, right? You're a creature of habit. Then how is it, like in my case, where I do typically wake up around the same time every day now, but not at like 5:30 or whatever. And it's a lot of it honestly has to do with, and we placed our bedroom where it needed to be because that's how the house was built. But it does allow to where once the sun crests that other ridge, it's beaming right in your eyeballs. And you really don't have much of a choice other than roll over and throw a blanket over your head. So it's roughly based on when the sun comes up is when I'm going to get up.
Which is more natural. And I did sleep till 6:30 this morning, and that's huge for me.
Right.
But I pushed myself to stay awake all day yesterday because I was actually up at 2:30 in the morning yesterday. And I did take a little nap during our Netflix time, but not enough to get restful sleep.
Right.
But that's why I edited the video last night, because I'm like, if I go to bed now, it's going to just be a repeat. So I push myself to stay awake.
And of course this time of year makes it difficult too, because by 6 o'clock, 6:30, and it was 7 o'clock when we had walked out at one point last night, it was pitch black, and it'd been for hours. Like, it was one of those that, and your brain, especially for us, and I don't know if it's that whole like that farmer brain mentality, right?
Circadian rhythm, I don't know.
Where you're up before the sun or up with the sun, and then you go to bed. Like, and back in the olden days, really that was the only option, unless you're using lanterns and that kind of stuff. But it's just weird to me, because if we would have said, hey, you know what, it's been dark for an hour and a half, we're tired, our brains say, hey, it's dark, go to sleep, right? There's that correlation between the two. Then you're up at like midnight, because you've already got 5-6 hours of sleep, or 2 a.m. because you slept for 8 hours, and that's what your body needs.
I don't recall. I think for me, like, the most I can ever sleep is like 6 hours. I don't even remember the last time I slept. Well, yeah, I do. The last time I had a psoriatic arthritis flare, I slept for like 15, 16 hours on and off, with just getting up a couple times to go to the bathroom. Well, but that's pretty normal when I have a flare. Yeah. So, and
I mean, sicknesses and stuff like that, your body gets over exhausted just because you're fighting whatever it is, whether it's, your inflammation from the arthritis. Mental exhaustion, I think, is more fatiguing than physical exhaustion.
I have much more brain clarity since we've been home.
Yeah.
Like, I literally had a meltdown before we left, and I told Jason I'm about to do like a 72-hour hold, because I feel like I'm going crazy. I was not. It was an awful week prior to going back up to Michigan. I have no idea. It could have been 100,000 things, but and maybe that's why coming back and feeling like it's okay to rest, and so. Yeah, and the exhale. And there's so much to do. Don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of things that we need to get done.
There is.
So,
but we also, when we first came home from this trip up north, we had 2-3 days in a row that it was cold. Yeah.
And we both hate the cold.
Yeah, and we kind of fought that while we were up north, which we knew. I mean, it was November, like in Michigan, it's gonna be cold. It's just
I just kept the stove going.
Yeah, and that was the thing, was we got home, we knew it was going to be cold, and to help the heater, not have to work as hard, hey, let's cook,
Today's a baking day.
Yeah, we're going to bake stuff, we're going to cook things, we're going to keep the stove and the oven going to help supplement that heat, and it worked out great, but that was where, like I said yesterday, we just had a nothing day, even though it was beautiful outside. It was in the 70s.
I felt guilty, but then I didn't.
No, exactly. Because we once again came home, and we've talked about this a lot, where typically the day we arrive home, especially if it's early in the morning or whatever, you're ready to hit the ground.
Yeah.
But I'm so mentally exhausted from the drive of not getting in an accident, not killing us, not falling asleep, just all those things that are involved in driving, which I love to do. I do love driving around, but for those long periods of time, and plus you're just sitting, you're stagnant, so your body is bored. So yeah, for me it typically takes a full day to kind of recover from that, and she'll go, and I'm like,
and then I crash.
You're making me tired. So it worked out to where we didn't really do that this time.
No, I came back softer.
Yeah, we came back with a little easier transition. We didn't really do much till the second day. And that's when we made the ketchup. You did some baking, and then we got some things done.
Well, that, and I hurt my wrist.
I think that's when I went and helped Jenna. But then yesterday was the day where we both of our bodies resynced, realigned, and went, this is what's going to happen. And no, loved it. Loved every minute of it. And honestly, I feel way more rejuvenated. I mean, there's still that overwhelming factor.
I feel rejuvenated. I don't feel motivated. I mean, there's a gazillion things that we need to get done. and I'm not really motivated. I feel rejuvenated, but
Yeah.
not motivated, if that makes sense. And I was kind of hoping with this coffee chat that, you know, things would full circle like they normally do, where we come out of it a little bit with more clarity about our day and whatnot. And I don't think we are. So I don't know what to do.
We've made it to the part we're going to sit here. We're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
We're going to go in the studio while you upload it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to figure out,
like, what are we going to do with our day?
do we really need to wear pants today or not? Yeah, I don't know. And I think part of it is that openness of our schedule, and it's allowing us to kind of, what's going to work. I mean,
but it's also a scary reminder too, because we've also said since we started YouTube that we're grateful and thankful for YouTube and for you guys, because it does keep us motivated.
Yeah.
We got to get a video out, Well, now we're starting to feel the ramifications of, we'll put a video out from whenever we want, because then it almost gives us it's a double-edged sword. It almost gives us the permission to be like lazy. And I don't want that to happen either. So I think over the next several months, we'll start finding our balance. And I know I don't want a repeat of this year. This year was rough. And I know it's not a year-end review, but it kind of is, because it started about this time last year.
yeah.
I'm ready.
Well, it was funny because we were sitting there trying to think what we were doing. Well, we were thinking about not necessarily Thanksgiving, because I know we were in Tennessee at Thanksgiving last year.
No, we weren't. Were we?
Yeah, we were. It was Christmas that we were trying to figure out, what did we do? And honestly, it was funny because I had to go back to the channel. I'm like, okay, well, let me look at the dates. Let me see because neither one of us could recollect, like, what did we do for Christmas last year?
Yeah.
Because we were in Tennessee. If you remember, me, you, and Dad went to
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, we had to go back to videos to look at that.
I remembered the Thanksgiving thing, but it was the Christmas one that we just both looked at each other and were like, So I went back, and it was actually because we hadn't even had a video out. So I had to go back and see, it was a live that we had actually done on the 26th, the day after Christmas. And then it triggered that memory of, we actually were traveling back from Tennessee on Christmas Day to get back here, because we said we're gonna start the new year at home. We didn't know if we were gonna need to go back to Tennessee again, but the whole point was we're gonna be at our home and start.
Because we're not gonna travel in 2025. Ha ha.
But it also
this year, I think it's a matter of mental health. We saw mainly on me. We saw the ramifications of just what that did to my mental state. I'm not saying I'm unhinged, but no, truly. And 10 years ago, I don't think it would have been as much of an issue. I think the older I get, the less I'm able to tolerate all the travel. So I can say without a doubt that this year we're going to focus more on things that we want to do as a couple. Like, okay, babe, this Friday we're going to hook up the camper and we're just going to go 20 miles this way to a state campground and we're just going to camp. Real camping, We're not on a journey. We're not traveling. We're not utilizing it as a hotel. I want to camp. I want to make pudgy pies over the fire. I want to put our tripod over like we used to do. Right? We've lived here 3 years and we've never kayaked the Buffalo because we never had enough time. Like, I'm tired of living time demands. So that's going to be our focus this year. And we'll see where it goes from there. Well, we've rattled off long enough, guys. It's a super long coffee chat because it's one that we've not done in a long time. But on Unhinged, you're going to get coffee chats. You're going to get cooking. You're just going to get you're going to get rambling. It's all the above.
Right.
All the above. Whatever we feel like doing that day. with the premise that our goal is to be more active on this channel and put the things that don't necessarily fit the algorithm on the other channel. So, yeah. But all right, guys, thank you so much for weathering this storm with us through the changes, through everything. And you're still going to get loop information here as we get it, as boats pop up, and we may want to go look at them. We'll bring you along.
Yeah.
So we're still doing the loop. It's just until we are more, closer to it, there ain't no sense in changing this over. So welcome to Unhinged. Bye, guys.
Bye now.